What's up, guys? Welcome to the line change. Now, originally, this was going to be my first video of the day, but obviously, the Evander Kane trade took precedent and was something I really wanted to get out and talk about and get out to you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and release this video as originally, as I just mentioned, I was going to talk about a potential buy low trade target for the Vancouver Canucks. And coincidentally, it's someone who's on the Oilers right now. I was going to talk about a different Oiler, not Evander Kane originally. So I figured I'd still do this. We'll still talk about it. And I saw this potential buy low trade target for the Vancouver Canucks. And I'll admit, I was intrigued. I was intrigued by the idea of it. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. And we're going to talk about Viktor Arvidsson being a potential buy low trade target, if you guys haven't gathered from the thumbnail. We're going to be talking about Viktor Arvidsson and him potentially being a buy low trade target and whether or not it's a smart buy low trade target for the Vancouver Canucks. But before we get into that, I want to thank my sponsor, Gassy Jack Art, maker of that incredible artwork you see there behind me. You guys can check out Gassy Jack Art at GassyJackArt.com. He still has his end of season sale going on, so get it while you can. That's probably going to be ending soon. You guys can also check him out on Instagram at GassyJackArt. So if you guys want some prints like these, check him out, GassyJackArt.com. So let's dive right into this article written by our good friend of the show, David Quadrelli. He wrote about this technically yesterday. And let's go ahead and dive right into it. Word out of Edmonton is that the Oilers and Viktor Arvidsson are going to work together to find the veteran winger a new home. Could the Vancouver Canucks be that new home? Let's talk about why it may not have worked out for Viktor Arvidsson in Edmonton. Arvidsson appeared in just 18 games after battling injuries during his final season with the LA Kings during the 2023-2024 season. Banking on a bounce back to his normal 25 to 30 goal form, the Oilers signed Arvidsson to a 2-year deal with an AAV of $4 million. Unfortunately, year one in Edmonton was a disappointment for Arvidsson, who tallied just 15 goals and 12 assists through 67 games played. The Oilers' depth was a problem for them all season long, and the end result was Arvidsson finding himself a healthy scratch at times during the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's important to note that Arvidsson wasn't a healthy scratch for the Oilers during the regular season, and that his regular season games played number was impacted by injuries. Here's what Bagged Milk of Oilers Nation had to say about how things went for Arvidsson in Edmonton. He was hurt for about 2 months from November to December and never really looked right after that. That said, he was also stable to Leon Draisaitl for the bulk of the season, so it wasn't like he didn't get opportunity. Honestly, he looked more like a rookie than a guy who has had multiple 30-goal seasons. Not the most glowing review from Bagged Milk, and obviously he's well informed when it comes to the Oilers, having been part of Oilers Nation. So obviously that wasn't the most glowing review for Viktor Arvidsson. Now the Oilers are looking to move the distressed asset. So how much would it really cost to bring him in? We're going to take a look at the cost, potentially costs, plural, operating with the understanding that the Canucks are likely going to need to acquire 2 to 3 upgrades. You can argue they may have already, acquired one. If you want to call Evander Kane an upgrade, probably not the best word used to describe Evander Kane. And this is for their forward group, acquiring 2 to 3 upgrades for their forward group in order to compete next year. Arvidsson ideally would be the second or more realistically third best forward the Canucks acquired this offseason. We said the same thing about Evander Kane. Given what Mason Marchment and Trevor Zegras recently fetched on the NHL trade market, it's not a hot take to say that the acquisition cost for Arvidsson could be as low as a single 3rd or 4th round pick. That's certainly a cost the Canucks can stomach. Obviously now, since the Evander Kane trade, they don't have their 4th round pick. Arvidsson's cap hit of $4 million is a bit of another story. However, the Canucks are expected to have roughly $12 million in cap space. That is obviously decreased since they acquired not Patrick Kane. If only it was Patrick Kane. Evander Kane. I believe they have roughly $7 to $8 million remaining in cap space to work with this offseason, and allocating $4 million of that to Arvidsson would leave. I mean, if they hadn't acquired Evander Kane, they would be in the same cap situation they're in now. But obviously, the fact that they've acquired Evander Kane, I don't think at this point, or at the time of this recording, they can really afford to acquire Viktor Arvidsson. This would have been something maybe instead of Evander Kane. So let's just leave that out there. And we'll skip the rest of the cost because it's probably looking like the Canucks can't afford to get Viktor Arvidsson anymore. But I still kind of wanted to talk about it. It was something to talk about. But let's take a look at the player and the potential fit on what it could have been, like what if. Not once has Arvidsson played a full 82 games in a regular season, as injuries have been a regular occurrence for the now 32-year-old. Obviously, that's concerning, but it's worth mentioning that despite his struggles this season, Arvidsson still ranked in the 88th percentile for top skating speed and 77th percentile for speed bursts over 20 miles per hour. For context, that top skating speed would rank him third in the Canucks forward group, behind only Drew O'Connor and Philip Hedl. Only Connor Garland, Hedl, and O'Connor ranked higher in speed bursts over 20 miles per hour than Arvidsson last season. In the playoffs, Arvidsson was in the 99th percentile of all skaters for top skating speed, and in the 95th percentile for speed bursts over 20 miles per hour, according to NHL Edge data. This is all to say that Arvidsson would instantly become one of the Canucks' speediest forwards, and his history as a 30-goal scorer cannot be ignored, especially when the acquisition cost would presumably be quite low. The Canucks are going to need to take some swings and are going to need to get a bit lucky if they are indeed going to pull off the miracle offseason they hope to do, and there's reason to believe that buying low on Arvidsson could prove to be a savvy move when all is said and done. Obviously, as I just mentioned, with the acquiring of Evander Kane from the Oilers, I don't really see this trade happening now, despite it being a, buy low trade potential target. Had the Canucks not acquired Evander Kane, this could have been an option instead of Kane. Let me know in the comment section down below, who would you have preferred, Viktor Arvidsson or Evander Kane? Like, which one do you like more? Which one do you like better? Let me hit me up in the comment section down below. If you had to choose between Evander Kane and Viktor Arvidsson, who would you pick? Let me know in the comment section down below. So yeah, I guess that's all I can really say about this, as it being kind of off the table now because of the Evander Kane trade. But I still wanted to kind of dissect this, talk about it a little bit, give it out there as an option for Vancouver Canucks fans, something for Canucks fans to really think about, and basically ask the what if question. What if the Canucks had traded for Viktor Arvidsson instead of Evander Kane? Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. And as always, if you guys like this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you want to stay up to date on all Canucks content, in the lead up to the draft, as well as free agency next Tuesday, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. Once again, you can find us on social media. You can find us on Facebook. Just search The Line Change to find our Facebook page. You can find us on Instagram at The Line Change. Find us on X at Line Change Van. You can find us on TikTok at the.line.change.po. Feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. If you prefer an audio version of this podcast, you can find us on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. On Spotify, once again, feel free to give us a follow as well as rate and review us. But that's going to do it for this video. A little bit of a short one, but let me know in the comment section down below, who would you have preferred, Evander Kane or Viktor Arvidsson? Do you think the Canucks may still potentially, if they, pull some strings, make some more moves. Could this even still be an option? A buy low option for the Canucks? Acquiring Viktor Arvidsson. Obviously, the likelihood of the Canucks making another trade with the Oilers is probably very slim, having already done so. Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, let's go Canucks, and I'll see you guys in the next video.